Hi, my name is Andrea. Welcome to Fit Life Coaching. Today I'm going to talk about how changing your story and changing your narrative can help shape your life and how to go about doing that. If you have never heard of Neville Goddard, he is a kind of a manifestation guru from back in the day. He was around in the 30s and 40s, and he has many lectures on YouTube. You can look him up. He's got a lot of books. If you are in the manifestation community, you certainly have heard of him. He also is someone who helped shape a lot of the writings and teachings of Wayne Dyer. He often refers to a lot of his things and has spoken about him, and a lot of his teachings are relevant to a lot of the things that we hear today. So he was essentially the teacher behind the movement of law of assumption. If you've never heard of law of assumption, it's really simple. It's kind of like law of attraction, only whereas law of attraction, we talk about, how you have to be on a certain vibe and you've got to be in alignment and da-da-da-da-da. Law of assumption is a little more basic in the sense that the main teaching is that what you assume to be true is true, and that is true. So the reality is that if you assume that life is hard, if you assume that things never go your way, if you assume that it's hard to get by, if you assume that, things always go wrong for you, then that is in fact going to be your experience, because that's where your focus is. And so it's important to change that focus, because what is always available to you is opportunity or suffering. And so if you are focused on the suffering of your life, then that is what you will focus on, and that is what you will continue to see as being available to you. Whereas if you are focused on opportunity, it's not that opportunity just suddenly shows up when you change your mindset. Opportunity has always been there. You just never saw it as opportunity because you had limiting beliefs or limiting mindsets that were holding you to an old narrative of your life. And so it's important to try and shift that, because it will shift how you're seeing things. When we are stuck in limiting beliefs or in a limiting mindset, we can't see beyond that. Those other things aren't available to us because we've created a blind spot. We're making it impossible to see what's over here, even though it's always over there. You're just not going to be aware of it because you've created a blind spot. So that's why, certain people can be certain places and have a certain perception of a situation and have completely different perceptions when they talk about it later, because one person is viewing it from one mindset and another person is viewing it from another mindset. And so it really does change what you're going to see available to you. So when you can change your narrative and start to create a better mindset, you will now see new opportunity. So as Neville Goddard puts it, you have to leave the old man behind. You have to be willing to give up the old narrative and the old belief and the old story in order to have the new narrative and the new belief and the new story. Another way that he puts this is you can't serve two masters, right? You can't be down on yourself and think that you're going to be capable of achieving amazing things. They can't coexist together. They're on two opposite ends of the spectrum. And so you have to let go of the old belief. Tony Robbins will say that you have to divorce from that belief, which is a great way to put it. And so you have to now not allow that to be your belief and move into a new, more pleasing belief that really propels you to go in a different direction in life. When you can let go of old beliefs, what you're going to do over time is change your state of being. And when you can change your state of being into a more positive reflection, your story is going to keep matching that reflection, and your experiences will change, and you will be able to have a different outlook. And so that will keep propelling you in a direction that's more pleasing to you. Now, does that mean that the second you start thinking a little bit differently that life shifts right away? Probably not. But the opportunity for life to shift will start to present itself in a different way for you. Also, you're going to have hard times. It's not like when you start thinking positive, all of a sudden everything in life comes up positive. You could be the most positive person in the world and still have difficult moments. We're all going to have difficult moments. When you are in the middle of changing your beliefs, the hard part becomes to not go back to what I refer to as your default setting when challenges arise or when difficult moments show up again, because they're still going to be there. And so you do have to keep coaxing yourself into a more positive belief or mindset until it just becomes natural to you. Once it's natural to you, then that will just be your state of being. That will be where you mostly remain. Like I'm a really hopeful person. I can look at the worst things and go, oh, it's okay. It'll be fine tomorrow, or it'll be whatever. And I don't really get hung up for very long in too many things that work against what I'm trying to achieve in my life. And I'm not positive all the time, trust me, because I'm human and I have my moments. But a lot of people will have those human challenging moments and get stuck on it for weeks or months or whatever. Whereas for me, it's usually a few hours or a few days because, I'm really good at making sure that my mindset stays focused on where I'm trying to go and not in a past version of myself. So that being said, think about the stories you have running in the background. Think about the narrative you are continually telling yourself about yourself. Think about what you are choosing to focus on in your life and where you are really putting that energy. And think of ways that you can start to shift that mindset and that story to something more favorable, because I guarantee a lot of the story you're telling yourself is probably not true. Another point that I want to make is it's really, really hard to reach for higher vibration feelings. I kind of dislike that term, but we all know feelings have vibration and blah, 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 whatever, however you want to put it. But it's really hard to reach for better feeling feelings or a better state of being when your thoughts are very low. And so you want to start trying to improve your thoughts so that you can then improve your state of being. And so as you excel these thoughts and change this story and find a more pleasing narrative, your feeling state will continue to rise as well. And so they work really in unison together. And I just wanted to share this with you. And if changing your narrative is something that you feel like you would need help with, you can figure out how to coach with me. Everything is in the Dropbox, and I would be happy to help you and sit down with you. And sometimes speaking to someone, that person can see the limits that you're placing on yourself, or that continued story that you are telling yourself that is keeping you in a low state of being. I hope this was helpful. Thanks for joining me today. Please like and subscribe, and I would love your support. Thanks. Bye.